Okay, welcome back to this new and improved version of the guide for the Raiden Shogun. The reason why it is new and improved, and probably seems like it's deja vu, is because I deleted the old guide, or I unlisted it, because I wasn't happy with it. My friends told me that it was okay, that the information that I missed out could have just been pinned, but considering that I want to be in-depth with these guides, these are the reason why they're like 10 minutes long, is because I want to make sure that the viewer understands exactly what they're getting themselves into, and also to showcase the moves that perhaps some people haven't seen, or some guides don't showcase. So, even though that it was okay, and my friends told me, hey man, just include a little bit of information on the top, I wanted to do it better because I respect the viewer and also respect this boss, because this boss is interesting and I do like the boss, even though that it gives me a lot of headaches. Anyway, to start, don't forget that the tips from before, my old video had showcased 4 different tips and they still stand true here. So the first tip, don't forget, you can eat food. You can give yourself some attack bonuses, you can give yourself some extra stamina, you can even give yourself some extra elemental damage, whatever you want. Don't let anyone else tell you that you are being a noob or whatever. A boss is a boss, we've all been there. Do what you need to, it's a single player game. Nobody should care. Second, this is a free to play guide. So, this character lineup here, Traveler, Amber, Noelle, Lisa, can be replaced with whatever you want. It is, perhaps you want Ito as Traveler, you want Diluc as Amber, and you want Zhongli as Noelle, and you want Yoimiya for Lisa. By the way, speaking of that, Electro is not mandatory for the fight, but it is strongly recommended, considering that if you don't, there's a certain part of this fight where you'll probably be scrambling to pick up the milliseconds to make sure that you don't get killed. So even though that you can do this fight without Lisa, I would suggest that you bring someone that can apply an instance of Electro. Just saying. 3. Don't forget that this boss is a weekly boss, so that means that this boss has a lot of HP, and that you can take increased damage when the levels go up. So, when it comes to this fight, I'm going to be entering it at a lower level so that you don't spend 10 minutes just watching me fight the first phase or something. So out of respect for the viewer's time, and my time, along with the boss, I am going to be entering it at a lower level, because I really don't want this video to be 30 minutes long. And 4, don't forget that I am World Level 8 or Adventure Rank 58. That means that my characters may be a little over-leveled compared to people at AR 40 or AR 45. But rest assured, and don't forget the golden rule of Genshin, your characters are only as good as the gear that you put on them. So for example, Amber is level 90, Noelle is 85, but when you see the weapons, 3-star Claymore, it's alright, because the only one that scales defense is this one. And of course Amber is using the Messenger, but usually I would have like the Amos bow on them, or in terms of Noelle, I might do the White Blind. But considering this is just to make it more accessible to the players that may be viewing this guide, I'm going to be keeping it a little bit sandbagged here, considering that I have used these characters since 1.0. And of course, considering that I have been playing since 1.0, they have been used a lot more than the standard person, so I have to make sure that I have to make it somewhat realistic by using nerfed weapons. Anyway, that's about it. Let's head in there and let's kick some Shogun butt. We're going to be entering level 70, and again, here's the team lineup. You can swap it with whoever you want, but I'm going to keep this free to play to make it accessible for everyone. Let's begin. Okay, so now that we're actually inside the domain, please understand these 3 core concepts that are very important to this fight. Number 1, and I think it's the most important, this boss unfortunately does have some attacks that you cannot dodge out of. You have to tank with a shield. So this is confirmed by me, Sunway, and a lot of other Ambermain's Discord people that have been fighting this boss for about half a day now. There are some moves like this one.
Stabilize. This world, a fleeting shadow.
Or this one.
Sever.
Or even this one.
Stabilize. There is no escape.
Where you unfortunately just cannot dodge out of. It is just impossible. Either you have no time to react, or the attack goes on for way too long. It just sometimes happens, whether or not it be the proximity to the boss, whether it might be, say, she just feels like it, or maybe you're just at the very perfect distance where the boss decides to rush at you. It sometimes just happens. And unfortunately, you can't do anything about it. It's killed a lot of runs, and Nitro Tom told me that his video on his hitless Amber run took 8 continuous hours of playing. So unfortunately, he got the lucky stick finally, but I don't know if we'll be so lucky this time. Second, this boss is a 2-phase rotating boss fight. What I mean by that is that there is obviously 2 phases when she's in Baleful form and when she's not. When she's not, you can damage her anywhere and anytime. However, in Baleful Shadowlord form, it's best that you just survive and maybe chip away at her armor a little bit, but it shouldn't be your priority. The reason why is because you do so little damage, it's basically neglectable. You basically put yourself at risk for nothing. So when it comes to the Baleful Shadowlord form, understand the mechanics first and do the damage later. Number 3, patience and understanding how the boss works is very, very important. Sometimes you'll feel like you need to be greedy and get more damage in, but you really do not. This boss has very, very, very well-defined damage phases, and you just need to understand when to go away and when to actually fight. Now that you understand, good luck. Let's begin. So you can begin the boss fight by dropping a rock on her, and she'll either charge at you or she'll teleport to you. Let's see what happens. So she charged at me, so therefore I'm going to be running toward her rather than away, because the AoE might actually hurt you rather than help you.
Does not bend to the will of mortals.
This, you can just run around, drop a rock, and just be patient.
Illusions are but distractions.
Alright, so for this particular thing, look for the delusion that shoots the X form. So this is her.
Shattered.
There's some other ones that might be bombs and such, so be careful when you're actually fighting the other ones. So when you let the actual Shogun mimic shoot something at you, it's best if you just wait for the attack first and isolate the one that's actually her. It makes your life a lot easier.
Lightning does not bend to the will of mortals.
Whenever you can, just drop a rock. It helps you out.
All desire can be broken.
This is a very easy thing to dodge, and you can just stay in the arena outside, and even if you want, you can even like shoot arrows at the Shogun.
Thunder.
So here, you can see that the meter is almost filled. So you're just gonna have to wait until Baleful Thunder may come around.
Stillness transcending. Inferior.
These little like eye mine things are just basically spawning on you, so it does very little damage. Just be careful when you're actually like fighting it. It's just unnecessary damage which you shouldn't need to take.
This body is eternal.
Alright, so now that we're actually in the actual second phase, it's best if you just keep away. Like you can see here, I am keeping the hell away. And also, there's also a very neat trick with GeoTraveler, is that if you place a rock in front of her when she's about to charge at you, it actually stops her in her tracks, which is pretty cool. See, look at that. I let my rock go in front of her and it actually prevents her from going to me. However, you have to time it very, very carefully. Alright, so here's where Lisa comes in. Hit this once and you have an automatic shield, and for here, you only take 1 damage. After this though, you might want to put on Noel's shield, because sometimes she might charge at you, because there is a bit of randomness to this boss fight. So you can drop a rock if you want to lower his shield a little bit, but it's just best to keep away. And just make sure that she doesn't catch you off guard, because if she does, you are kind of screwed.
Eternity is in my hand.
Okay, so when she does this is kind of like a little mini game from Windbloom. I gotta just jump over this, or you can dash through it like this, but it's better if you jump. At the very end, you can either double jump or swap to a tall female and jump this way. Anyway, shield up. I'm gonna put a rock here again, because I'm afraid she might charge at me. If not, well, that's great. All fine with me. Look at that. However, yeah, be careful of that. I did not expect that. So that one, because I wasn't ready for it, it's better if you just use Noelle and tank it, or you need to run toward the Shogun. A lot of the time, you also can just go up to the Shogun and she'll try to slash at you and run like this. Run behind her, and this is kind of the best strat, is just to keep behind her. Anyway, now here we have a big damage phase, so bring out your big guns and start doing a lot of damage to the Shogun. I think you're about to get 3 Noelle weaves in, and then you can back off, and then use the Traveler Rock, and then she should be waking up right now. Yep. And now we're back to square one. Let's see if she does any more new moves on us this time, because it was rather brief for the first time.
Strike dead.
There are some times when she does a very rare lunge at you, so just be aware that some random moves might happen to you. I don't know if I'll be able to catch them on camera, but we'll see what happens.
The eye sweeps the land.
This one, use Traveler and just hit it as much as you can. Don't lose your combo or else you get hit. Just dazes her for a little bit, and you're able to hit her a few times. But don't get too greedy because this damage phase is a lot shorter. See how she wakes up right now? And if you stay too close, you explode. This one, just defeat one of these orbs and you should be okay. And you don't get hit. All good. So we're most likely going to go for a second. Here we go. And now the lightning attacks are going to go forth, and these are a little bit annoying because they summon at your feet. So just sort of like run in circles and see if you can, you know, don't get hit by this thing, because if you do, you might take a ton of damage.
Illusions are but distractions.
Here we go. So look for the one that hits you with the X mark. I didn't see it actually. Let's see it again. Okay, it's that one. And you can use Amber to shoot the thing, by the way. See?
Shatter.
Starfall! Crumble apart!
Here we go. Put a rock here just in case she charges at me. Oh, there we go. I'm just waiting, because if you get a little bit too far away, what might happen is that she summons this massive shadow ball underneath you, and it's undodgeable damage. You have to use Noelle to tank it.
Eternity is in my hands.
And here we go again. We're playing this mini game. But here you double dash. Easy.
Starfall!
I dodged her attack again, but just don't let your guard down, because that shit is very scary. Use Noelle again, just in case.
Sever.
Perfect.
Sever.
Here we go. Here we go. Now we're back to the second damage phase again.
As a dutiful maid woman.
It should be it. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's about it. This is a much better guide compared to the previous one because I really didn't like how I was failing to show off this sort of traveler stuck guide because a lot of the time she just went through it or I didn't properly time it. So now you can see the actual way to dodge things or cheese the boss fight. I understand that perhaps when Traveler is involved, not many people have them leveled because a lot of characters are different. So you would have Traveler, but you might have, say, Zhongli instead, who can do the same thing. However, when it comes to doing it free to play, I have to do it, so there it is. I hope that this was helpful and much better than the previous guide because I was not confident and it was like 5 AM and I was running on so little sleep. So, I hope this was helpful, and here's how I beat it with a new and improved squad.
Shine down.
Solidify.
Illusions are but distractions. Shatter.
Solidify.
Illusion shatter.
This is order.
Fire hazard!
Absurd.
Solidify.
Shine down. Without yearning, all returns to silence.
Bet you can't keep up with me!
Quake. Gather.
Illusions are but distractions. Illusion Illusion shattered!
The fuse is lit!
This body is eternal. There is no escape.
Stabilize.
Sever!
Rise.
Perish!
Crumble.
Witness the final shine down!
Gather.
Perish!
Rise.
Eternity is in my hands!
Gather.
Purge all obstacles! Perish!
Crumble.
Sever! Ruin follows my blade!
Gather.
There is no escape! Ruin follows my blade! Illusion shattered! Torn to oblivion! Only emptiness away.